Welcome to the second half of KISS Community Connections, 103.1 KISS FM. Yes, we've had a busy morning, and we're going to have two guests. We had one guest that talked about Cherish, and we're tying that guest into this one because they both are talking about women. And one is talking about more than women, but they're both talking about women and what we need to do to preserve our health, instead of destroying our health and not knowing about it. But I have another good friend, and I've been knowing Irene for a long time, Irene Andrews. So good morning. How you doing? Good morning, Phyllis. Thank you. I'm happy to be here today. And you know what? She's proof of not knowing what retirement is. She's one of those proof people of, yes, I retired from one area and I jumped into another one. So you belong to an organization called the Silverhead Legislators. That's right. I never heard of it. Silverhaired Legislators. I never heard of it till you told me that that's what you're part of. Okay, exactly. What is the Silverhead Legislators? What do you do? Well, I'm glad you had me on because this is kind of the number one problem of the TSHL, the Texas Silverhaired Legislature. We've been in existence since 1986 when the state legislature put us into position. But hardly anybody knows about us. Correct. And so raising our visibility is one of the things that I really decided was one of my main goals. And so to that end, I'm very thankful that you're having me on. So the Texas Silverhaired Legislature, as I said, was put in place by the Texas legislature. And I think what they realized, of course, was who is your largest constituency of voters? Correct. Seniors. Who is the largest group in Texas who do not lobby for themselves or do not have a voice? Seniors, who are often ignored and made to feel that they are disappeared. Seniors. So this is a way for peers, 60 and older, right, who become elected by their peers to be a legislator. It's a way for us to help our own by serving in the Silverhaired Legislature. And so we have a 2-year commitment, and I'll be a legislator until 2019. And we're put in position because the state legislature knows that they need to hear from us. And how are they going to do that? So they have tasked us with two main things. First, listen to the seniors. So we hold town halls, and I've held one already in Nolanville, and it was very well received. I'm excited. People want to have more. So you hold the town halls, and you listen to the seniors. And you glean from those conversations what it is that's important to them and what they're concerned about. Because we get that information through the town halls and just by being in organizations and talking to people like you, Phyllis, we find out what's most important, and then we write resolutions. These resolutions as a group, by the way, there's 120 of us in the state of Texas. We write resolutions, we come together and debate those and pass the resolutions that we feel are best able to meet the needs of seniors. And we do all that at the State House on the floor of the House of Representatives there. We're the only other group that gets to use those chambers. But we then publish those in a book that's called the Legislative Report. And that book is then given free of charge to every senator and legislator in the state of Texas, well ahead of what will be the 2019 legislative session. Correct. They are thumbing through it. They're looking at all these resolutions. The resolutions are well written. They have the people who actually penned those resolutions, their contact information. They thumb through that and say, hey, this is a win-win. I need to get a hold of them. I could create a bill based on the language of this resolution that they've written. And usually that resolution has a lot of research that we've already done behind it, which is doing the job for the legislator. And so then they'll take that and create a bill. And because we're retired, we're also committed to being there during the legislative session to speak in the subcommittees
and be the wind in the sails to get those pieces of legislation that they write passed.
Cool.
So that's the first piece.
Okay.
Listen to them, write the resolutions, push those resolutions through. And also by having good contact and frequent contact with our representatives. When I became a legislator, I was so excited. They said, you have an open door. There is an open door to you, to any of the legislators that are in your district, especially. Okay. So we have 7 counties that we cover because we work with the Area on Aging.
Right.
So there's 28 areas on aging, and each one of those probably have 4 to 6 legislators that are kind of hooked with them. And they cover all of the counties in the state through being a part of the Areas on Aging. So
what area do you cover?
We are on the Central Texas Area on Aging. So it's the Area Agency of Aging. So the acronym is CTAAA. So it's Central Texas Area Agency on Aging, and we cover 7 counties. Those counties are Bell, Coryell, Hamilton, Lampasas, Milam, Mills, and San Saba.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So my show, Community Connections, can host a silver-haired legislators, let's say, not workshop, but a meeting, where a meet and greet where you come out, talk, we submit resolutions if we have any. Well, not resolutions.
Well,
some people don't know
take
what
a resolution that's written, and we can work with that.
Okay.
We absolutely can.
So I can host one.
Absolutely. I would love that.
So I can host one in Bell and Coryell County.
That's right. We want to do that. I want one. I'm going to be doing one in Temple, Killeen with Hugh. What's his? I'm sorry, I just lost his last name. Shine.
Who's Shine?
Yeah, Representative Shine. Mm-hmm. And then we need to do one, kind of the Harker Heights, Killeen, but we need to go out. We need to go out to Coryell, Lampasas. We should be holding these everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to ask you that
not tough, difficult question, but the question I need to ask. How many African Americans on the silver-haired legislator?
Yeah, it's a great question. You and I had this conversation when I was running.
Yes, how many?
I said, I'll bet you there aren't very many, and it's true. I believe that there are 3 to 5 maybe.
So we need to change that.
Absolutely. And here's something you need to know, Phyllis. Because we're working with elders in this group, of course, they are aging the whole time, right?
Correct.
Well, when I came into the legislature, I told you 120 of us, but that's not really true. There were like 68 of us. We had been decimated by this huge wave of husbands who were serving, whose wives had gone downhill and needed help, or they themselves were now in bad health, ill health. Several of our legislators passed away. And so we are way behind. And we're actually changing the rules to make it so that you can have more legislators in an area where you're already full.
Right.
So Bell County, Bell Coryell, our Central Texas area has its 5 silver-haired legislators, but we could have more because there are some areas that can't get enough. But we need enough shoulders to carry this. And so if we only have 68 to 70, we need 120. There is no reason why Bell County, I keep saying Bell, I shouldn't. The Central Texas area,
correct.
There's no reason why we couldn't have more. And it'd be good to have them from those other counties because we have a large group that are kind of centered in Bell County. 3 of the 5 are in this area and in this county or just outside this county of Bell. They aren't clear out in San Saba. Or I think one's from Mills.
Okay.
So, I'm saying calling all silver hairs, come on out, get in contact with me. And this weekend, tomorrow morning, I drive to Austin for 5 days for the next training where we're going to discuss this very problem and try to push for that to change in our bylaws, that you can have more than your allotted amount. If, in fact, the silver-haired legislature is way low on members and has not been able to fill these seats.
So we need to really contact some of our organizations.
Yes.
Such as, like me, I'm the Central Texas Area Coordinator for NAACP.
Absolutely.
So Central Texas is mine. We have coordinators for every area of Texas. And so does LULAC.
Yes,
and I'm
people
talking
of
about
color, just people of color specifically.
So we need to pull them out.
Absolutely.
And what we also need to do is go back to our organizations to talk about the silver-haired legislators to make people aware. So this is what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to talk about something that needs to be done and then I don't do it. So I'm going to host a silver-haired legislator meet and greet for Killeen, and I'm going to host one for Coryell County.
Wonderful.
Actually, Copper's Cove. I'll do one in each area, and I'm going to lean more to our people of color.
Thank you.
And I'm not saying I'm kicking out everybody else.
No. But, this is the community we need to reach out to.
So we need to, because we often complain. And we say no one gives us a voice. So I'm going to create the platform to give us a voice. Excuse me, because there are some things that we need to change, and some things need to be changed that you might not be aware of, because it does affect you, not you per se, but it affects a culture, and you know nothing about it. So if you know nothing about it, there's nothing that you can do about it. You can't fix it. You can't do nothing, and then later on it becomes, well, no one cares. Well, two things happen. You didn't speak up, plus you didn't know there was a group that you could speak up to. So now that we know that, we need to link you with everybody else, and we need to learn to craft legislations. We need to learn to craft a bill.
You bet. I'm excited because I'm going to learn how to write those resolutions.
I've learned how to write a resolution. As the state education chair, that's what I do.
Good.
So I can write a resolution. I also know how to fight.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about fist fighting.
No.
But I know how to get in there and become a bully.
Who to talk to.
I'm actually a bully at the legislative things.
That's right.
I'm actually the pushy bully person, because the governor said he's going to remember me for the rest of his life.
And I'm glad
that's a good thing. That was a bad thing, but it's a good thing, because I came in there with like a Bronco bull, and he was like, "She is not saying this to me." Yes, I am.
That's right.
So it was good, but also along with that, you have some papers in front of you from the Department of Aging.
I sure do. I was very excited when I became a silver-haired legislator to know that the area on aging, which I did not use when Joan and I took care of the folks for almost 9 years, we did not reach out. And it wasn't that we were trying to be stubborn or something. We were desperate. I mean, the sense of isolation is real.
Right.
And the amount of stress you're going through is it can be very severe. In fact, those that care for people are dying at a faster rate than the one they're caring for. And it's the level of stress and the sense of isolation that is pulling them down.
Right.
So we experienced that. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to be a legislator, is because I wanted to make it better for others who were caregivers. Not just the seniors themselves, but those caring for them who are often a senior themselves.
Correct.
So it's a double whammy. You are aging, but you're taking care of someone who's more aged than you. And you're both in need. And I want the audience to know that if you are caring for someone, you need to embrace the term that you are a caregiver.
Right. Yeah.
Most of the people who I speak to say, no, I'm not a caregiver. I don't get paid. I don't have any training. I just am a daughter taking care of my mother. But then you look at the mother and she says, you are a caregiver. She's absolutely right. You're a caregiver.
You are.
And then this daughter, this person, her eyes open and they go, okay. And it's like the first time they acknowledge that they are a caregiver. That's something to be proud of. It's something to embrace. And it's something to know that when you see advertisements out there, or like the area on aging, saying tools for caregivers, that is for you. You are the person that they are trying to reach out to, the one who is giving care. So there's two things I want you to know about before we wrap up. Celebrating all caregivers is a wonderful event that's going to happen November 16th. That's a Thursday, November 16th, from 8:30 a.m. to noon. And it's going to be at the Central Texas Council of Governments, which people know as the SITCOG.
Yes.
It's right there in Belton on Main Street. And a lot of people say, if you know where the old Walmart was on Main, then you know where this building is. But if you're not familiar with Main Street, that's the main corridor, and Mary Hardin Baylor's on Main.
Right.
So you can't miss it. It's 2180 North Main Street. And I'll make sure you have all this, and we can repeat it later if we need to. But the doors open at 8:30 to the exhibit hall. There'll be a keynote speaker, and she's got her title, Caregiving 101. And then there's going to be special demonstrations throughout the morning, relaxation tips, denim and diamond dancers, line dancers. These women are just putting it on. And ask a pharmacist. There'll be a pharmacist there. You can ask any question about your medications of. And complimentary chair massages will be there. And then my granddaughter, Tawny Lay, is going to be there.
Oh, wow.
Doing chair yoga.
Okay.
And talking about reflexology and all the great things you can do for your body just through very gentle touch. So if you need more information, we've got a phone number here, 254-770-2356. And that's Susan Birchfield, who does the classes.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah. And people, this is free. This is your taxpayers' money that's providing this. So please take advantage of it. At this same location today, they're having a drop-off for all your unused and expired medications. So it's called Take Back Day. It's happening right now, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sitcog in Belton on Main Street, out in the parking lot. They've got it all set up. You don't even have to get out of your car. You can just hand it out. Keep the pills in the original container if you can, because we need to know what it is we're dealing with.
Right.
And they will safely dispose of them, because we cannot put them down the toilet, and we shouldn't put them in the landfill. It's toxic to the environment and dangerous.
You know, also with that, you know, I'm the naturalist person. But we need to teach people that sometimes all the medication they take through a natural means, there's other things they can do.
Oh, yes.
To offset some of the things that they have. I'll tell everybody, I'm 60 years old. I don't have arthritis. I don't have all those other things that people say you're supposed to have. I don't have any of them. My only thing is I have allergies to Texas, and I have allergy to dumb people.
I think most of us do.
But I don't have those things, and I don't understand. I don't understand how people get them. But because I want them to understand, sometimes the medications you take, because you take this medicine, and then if something's wrong, they give you another one to offset the other one. And then eventually you end up with 3 because you got to take the 3rd one. When in actuality, there's some natural homeopathic things that you can actually do.
Exactly. That's what I've been focused on too.
Yes, so.
I am now off of all my medications. Yes. I don't take high blood pressure. I don't take cholesterol. I don't take the allergy stuff at all. Yeah. And I used to have to use an inhaler and everything. So, but that's diet too.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's changing the way you eat.
Yeah, I have to change the way I eat. It's really made a difference. My doctor, my naturopathic doctor, said that people over 60 have, on average, at least 5 medications. And she said, do you want to be on 5 or more medications when you're 60 and older? And I'm like, no, I don't want to be on any of them.
Right.
And you're right. The interactions can cause major problems, even death.
Right.
And sometimes it's just like the commercials on TV. At the very end, they speed up what they're saying. Da-da-da-da-da. It can cause this and brain bleeds and and maybe death. And I'm like, who wants to take that?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And then that one interacts with this one. Yeah. And then you have to take medication because this hurt your bones and this causes you to ache. Yeah. And so then you need something for that. And yeah.
So we need to teach seniors, because some senior citizens I've talked to, I talked to one lady, and I went over her house just to visit and talk, because I often visit senior citizens, even though I guess I'm not, no, I won't be one yet, or whenever I get to be one. But anyway, I go and sit and talk with them, because I think that we need to sit at the foot of our seniors, because they have knowledge and history that we need to have.
Amen.
But I went by her house one day, and I was like, what is that? She goes, my medication. Ooh. You know, she's like, well, I'm like, it's scary. She said, what's so scary? Because oh my gosh. And I'm looking at them, and I begin to look them up for her, and I'm reading them to her about what they are. And she goes, wait. She says, so these 2 are for this one? Yes, because you had issue with them.
2 blood thinners.
Yeah. Whoa, so I told her, I said, suppose I made you a tea to help you out. I said, you take your medicine, but drink the tea and let me know when you go to the doctor again. So I made it. I got her. It's a lady I know. She does the tea, so I got her a special tea just for her, and she started drinking it. And then she went back to the doctor, and he goes, I got to take you off of this because something happened. He told her, I got to take you off this because something happened. She didn't say what happened. And then when she went back again, so he wanted to see her again real quick because something happened.
Make sure.
Right. And I told her, I said, first of all, you're losing money for him because you're not taking his prescriptions. But she went back again, and everything's fine. So he finally asked her, so what are you doing? What are you taking? And she told him, I'm drinking the tea. And he looked at her like she had lost her mind. So she wrote down the ingredients in the tea. He looked it up, and he didn't say nothing to her. He didn't say, don't use it anymore. He just said nothing, but she was like, so you took away 3 of my medications for a tea. I said, now you have to drink this tea for the rest of your life. She goes, it's okay. It's a tea. She said, it's fine. But,
that's a great story.
So some of those things we need to go back to our senior citizens and the system and some of the, that you don't have to take these medicines that, because all through her day she's taking them. So I'm like, your whole life is surrounded by pills. I told her, I said, scary. I said, now if they were all healthy things, I'm cool with that, but so we need to increase that. But and one thing about the Department of Aging, I know they answer the phone.
Yes, they do right away, and they call you back, recording. And they follow up.
Yes,
they will follow up. Yeah. So if they should be, what I tell people is, and I put it on the back of this trifold that I made for the area on aging. Has the very back page of my trifold, and they loved that. I said, well, hey, why not? We're working together,
right? And
so I want to raise your visibility too.
Okay.
And so they were kind enough to print these for me.
Oh, cool.
So that was great. But I've been preaching to people, just like a preacher, really. Let the Area Agency on Aging be your first point of contact. If you have questions about Medicare, if you have questions about Medicaid, if you have questions about your disability coverage, or you're a caregiver of anyone. It doesn't have to be a senior. It could be a caregiver of a disabled vet, of a small child who's disabled, either physically, mentally, or both.
Right.
Let them be your first point of contact. They want to hear from you. They are there to serve you. And again, they do the very same thing that we've been tasked with, which is number 1, listen to the caller. So when you get on the phone, be prepared not to have to tell them all kinds of details, but share your story.
Right.
Share the level of stress you're under. Share the amount of time you no longer have to take care of yourself. Share your fears, your concerns, your worries. And from that, they begin to build a picture of what you need.
Right.
So the person on the other end of the line isn't just sitting there. They are madly writing things down. They are making a map. They're shooting off a line here. They need to see this agency, or shooting off here. Let's see if we can help them with the Part D medication. They may qualify. They'll make questions to themselves. Ask them what the annual income is. Do they qualify for this? And the other thing I want people to know is it doesn't matter what your level of income is. I run into this all the time. Well, I don't call the Area on Aging because that's for people who are in need, and I don't want to dip into a pot of money that is for them.
Right.
I'll get on the internet or try to figure this out on my own. No, it's for everyone. Yeah. And that was my stumbling block. Hey, I'm a teacher. I know how to Google. I'll go find out what I need by myself. It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And the stress was huge. And that's why you see me today. I've lost 50 pounds. I'll tell you, folks, stress is real. And you could have told me that 100 times. I never figured it out until I retired and I didn't have that stress. And sadly, until the folks both passed away and that stress wasn't there. And all of a sudden I went, wow, I needed help. I should have reached out. I want others to do what I didn't do for myself.
And people also need to realize stress is things that you let control you. You no longer have control of.
That's right.
People need to know that I'm not saying it's that simple, but stress is when you let anything control you. It's consuming you. That is your stress. Okay, I work with
you feel that's when you feel you have no control. You have lost control. You don't get to choose how you spend your day anymore, or even an hour of that day. And also the stress is the guilt. There are so many people taking care of someone who feels so guilty if they leave for an hour. I can't leave Mama for an hour and go get a pedicure and just relax. If that's the thing that lets me let go, absolutely you need to do that. It's a safety issue at this point. And you know what? Maybe Mama needs an hour away from you. Yeah. Come on, let's get real.
Yeah, you get on their nerves.
So they have the Area on Aging will listen to you and say, okay, this person needs some time off. They probably don't know that they could qualify for another caregiver to come in and give them a break. Right. Yeah. So there are so many ways in which the Area on Aging can help. And I
just like the fact that they answer the phone.
They answer the phone.
Because, many times you call somewhere and you get dial 1 for this, 2 for this, 3 for that, and you go, really, for real? I don't have to. You hang up.
There is one of the lines are like that at the Area on Aging. Yeah. But if you get that number and you go through it and then you punch the one you want, someone's going to pick up right away. So, and that does help them. But they need your calls. Their funding depends on people calling in.
Okay, well, we'll change all that. But I want to thank you for coming on. And like I said, I'll be getting with you real soon because I'm going to schedule my show. We'll host one in Killeen and in Cove.
Can I tell you a couple things that we've been successful with? We're out of time.
So what? No, you're going to talk about them when we have the workshops.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's a perfect time.
Good, excellent. Well, I hope that folks will feel they can come and listen.
They will.
When we promote it,
they will.
We don't want people to feel they shouldn't come if they're not a senior.
Well, I'm going to tell everybody to come.
Tell everybody because we are all going to be there, number one. We all have a parent, a grandparent, or somebody we know, a neighbor who is a senior, and we can help them if we have information.
We will.
And so it behooves all of us to come to these together.
Okay. But I want to thank you, Irene, for coming on.
Thank you so much.
And listening and talking and bringing us up to what we need to learn. And I want to thank everyone for listening to KISS Community Connections, 103.1 KISS FM. And I always want to say, you cannot lead a positive life with a negative mind. We'll talk to you later. Bye now.
Bye-bye.